It is the CBS Post, and in the next episode of Talking Point, we have with us Mr. Sarthak Ahuja. He is a CBS alumnus from the batch of 2011. He is possibly one of the youngest CA, CS, and CMA in entire India, all by the age of 23. But it's not what it seems. He is not a nerdy personality that you might think he is just because of his extraordinary abilities. He is an active blogger. He was Mr. IIM Ahmedabad in 2011. He's an ISB gold medalist, and I'm missing out a lot of things still. So, please welcome Mr. Sarthak Ahuja.
Thank you so much for having me here. I wasn't expecting this to be a video interview, or I'd have kind of dressed better in my Ralph Lauren's possibly. But yes, we do with what we get. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so sir, the first question is related to your introduction only. As I just mentioned, you are doing so many things. You are having a extraordinarily funny blog page, having 9 lakh plus views, and you have cracked so many examinations. You are a part of CBS's most prestigious course, and so you've been an all-rounder throughout your life, be it CBS, be it ISB, or your extracurricular activities. So I just want to ask, what is your success mantra? How do you manage time so much efficiently that you have aced in literally every field in which you have stepped in?
Yeah. So firstly, I think that's it's very generous of you to say that, because I literally haven't. I can count a million times I've failed at a bunch of things, but I think the idea is I've not looked at that I need to achieve, say, X or achieve Y. When I say that, I'm coming from, as an example, if I think of how I got the best all rounder gold medalist at ISB, the idea was not to get that award. The idea is to be able to make the most out of my learning experience at any given point of time. So, my idea back at ISB was that, okay, I should be a part of every society where I could learn, I could network with people, I could maximize my learning. Even right now, what I do is, so for the past over 2.5 years, I send out this Sunday newsletter called the Sunday Snippet to approx 12,000 people, which has the three best articles that I read during the week. So there is nothing that I get out of sharing that. I mean, no one has asked me to do it. But what it does is it pushes me to read better content week on week, because I know every Sunday there are 12,000 people whose mailbox will be getting my email, and they'll be waiting to see from me what is it that Sarthak has collated this week. And a lot of these people are, say, from the ISB founding batch, or literally all ISB alums who've done MBA, they get that in their mailbox. So for anyone who sees it, I know if it's going to those kind of people, I cannot be reading bad quality work. I need to be reading something which all of these people will appreciate and enjoy. So I think what I've tried to do in my life is build some such habits which may lead to learning over a period of time. So just be curious, just like want to learn. I think that's all. Everything else will just happen. So don't focus as much on money or so. I would say just focus on learning and everything else just becomes interesting.
That's quite interesting.
Yes, sir. So the next question would be, as MBA admissions are going on, and a constantly discussed topic is whether you should have work experience before doing an MBA. So based on your experience at the ISB, what do you want to suggest to the upcoming batch of IM and ISB?
Okay, so I did my MBA after roughly 5 years of WorkX.
Yeah.
And as you would know, anyone who comes to ISB needs to have minimum 2 years of work experience. I also
Yes,
have a
sir.
lot of my friends from CBS in the batch of 2011 who um, took 2 years of WorkX and then maybe joined an IIM, and a bunch of other people who did not get any WorkX and straight off after the third year joined an IIM. I think if you get an IIM seat right after your college, I would not unnecessarily say defer it. I mean, it would be wrong on my part to say it, but I have definitely seen that people who do an MBA after, say, minimum 2 years of work experience aim to gain a lot more, because at least a bunch of aspects around how work actually happens at the workspace they've gone through, and they can easily relate what they're reading or learning in class to actual life experiences and take more meaningful takeaways than someone who's only been reading it theoretically. So it definitely helps. If someone's getting an IIM ABC or like another top league admission right after college, I would not dissuade them from not taking it and zabardasti deferring it. Okay, take WorkX first. If you can, great. That's your decision, but it helps to get WorkX.
Yes, definitely.
And my friends who've taken WorkX and gone to the IIMs, they've said that so many times we could contribute so much more to class participation, discussions, group discussions, because our perspective was so rich that the entire class, 70% of the people I've heard who go to an IIM or an MBA college which does not require work experience, come with no work experience. So I think even in group discussions, most of your learning is through peer experiences. I mean, what I learned from is probably not as much from my course structure as from the fact that we would discuss strategy cases in our classroom, and someone came from like an ad agency, another person came from manufacturing, a third person came from a Japanese organization, someone came from a French organization. And the fact that so many people would bring such different perspectives which we had not even imagined or thought about, that diversity of experience actually brought about learning more than anything else.
Okay, so then moving to the next question. When you joined CBS in 2008, were you planning to pursue all the three courses? Like, it was your vision that you have to be one of the youngest CACS and CMA in India, or it
I'll tell
was
you,
just by the flow?
I think it was fluke. It wasn't my vision, as I mentioned, because I got my certificate of practice on 2nd April 2013, and my birth date is 3rd April 2013. So had I missed it by no,
You,
2014. So had I missed it by one day, I would have been 24 and not 23.
yes, sir.
So you can't plan these things. I mean, it was just a matter of chance. But I did take the entrance exam for CA, CMA, and CS along with CBS. All four. These were the four exams I took after my 12th. Um, to pass the first level of CA, CS, or CMA is not very difficult. I think any reasonable person with just maybe about 1 month of work can pass it. So I got it, and I thought CBS was a great place to be. And I put my I could not start with my final preparation while being in college because it requires you to do your articleship period. But at least what I could do along with college is pass my intermediate exams. So what I did miss out on was the fact that a few Decembers in the first and second year, my friends would go to IIT Bombay for the fest or some other place for the fest, but I could not go. Being a part of Verve, being a part of Blitz, I could not go because I had my exams. So those are like little sacrifices I had to make at those times because I had other exams. But yeah, I think it worked out well.
But you still were an active member as you wrote plays for them, which eventually led them to win such events in IIT
Oh
Bombay
yeah.
and Kanpur.
So how do you know? I actually did write the play for Verve. Yes,
Yeah,
I did do.
we did our research about you.
So second year, I was a very active member of Verve. Third year also I was in Verve, but third year I was more involved with Blitz because I wanted like some Blitz experience also.
Yeah, so
I don't know what it's called now. Like it was the Dance Society back then, so I don't know if the name has
yes,
changed.
sir, it's still Blitz.
Okay.
Yeah, so sir, being a junior, I'm also from BFIA. So I just want to ask how BFIA helped you in your CA prep? Because traditionally, people from BCom honors, BCom program generally go for CA. BFIA is not a usual path. So how was your experience with BFIA plus CA?
I think one, it So the subjects you would study in BCom, at least 80% of them match with what you study in BFI as well.
Yeah.
So, I think from a CA preparation for CA perspective, it did not really make too much of a difference whether I was studying BCom or BFI. But what helped with CBS was again, as you do for an MBA college, it's the people you are around. It's the kind of enriching class discussion that you have. I remember when I uh, came to CBS, the first 1 or 2 days, I came from the perspective that, yeah, I was the editor of my school magazine. I was in the debating society. I won the All Round Excellence Award back in the 11th grade. I am some great shakes. And I did not prepare for the CBS entrance. So, not saying that anyone should not. I just went and took it, and I didn't bother much about it. But I got the seat. So, I thought I'm some great shakes big guy. When I got into the class, I realized DPS RK Puram, editor in chief, was my classmate sitting next to me. Modern editor in chief was sitting next to me. All of these schools, debating society presidents were sitting next to me. So I think that really hit me in the face when I realized, buddy, don't think too much about yourself. These are some great people. And I think that was the most enriching, like one of the most enriching times. And I could not have gotten that kind of an experience at another college in Delhi University. I'm still in touch with a lot of these great people who've done amazing stuff. They've been to the best MBA colleges. They've worked at the best of companies. So yeah, I mean, you can't beat that experience.
Yeah, that's so great to hear, sir.
Yes, sir. So, considering the hectic life at CBS, when you're juggling between competitions, societies, and at the same time you were preparing for these examinations. So, how did you manage everything together? Like, what would be your advice to the first years, maybe aspiring to give all these exams and clear these?
Okay. I think my life runs on an Excel sheet, um, which basically means you need to track that bare minimum four things that you need to do every day, like as a discipline. For example, you need to take care of your physical health. So I never miss my 10,000 steps. Or earlier, like before the lockdown, when I used to go to the gym every single day, I would go to the gym and track that at least these many calories I've burnt either by boxing or doing some cardio or some weights or whatever. So you cannot miss out on that. Second, you cannot miss out on mental growth, mental health. So everyday reading, meditation is an absolute must. All of that happens only when you track it and you make it a point that any day that you miss it, you can see that red cell, which will annoy you that why is it that I missed it? I had a wonderful trail of green, green, green. I was doing it every day. That then probably build in certain things like, which push you to read, which push you to learn. So I have recently started making, it's been 4 months, I've started making videos every day on some tax concept or some, concept related to startups. So it's not getting me any business, so to say, or no one asked me to do it. But the reason I did it is because I realized it pushes me every day to learn more about my own industry and read about more topics and go present it and teach it to people in my network. So that push, that social push that people would be waiting and they know that I put out a video every day, pushes me to learn every day. So I know that before I go off to sleep, if I've gotten done with work at 12 at midnight, I need to still take out 1 hour that before I sleep at 1 a.m., I need to at least learn something new that I can talk about the following day. So just build like 3, 4 habits which take care of physical health, mental health, reading, constant learning, and I think you're sorted. Also, since I remember back like in the last week of CBS, one of my friends asked me, "You have so many friends. How will you stay in touch with all of them?" So I said, "You can't possibly stay in touch with all of them. I have selected four. I will make a point to be in touch with. I marked them as favorites on my phone since 2011. Every week, I have called those people and been in touch. I don't care about whether they call me or not, but we've been in touch because every single week I've called them because I see them on my favorites. So you have to build processes around like something that you can track and pinpoint, which leads to habits, which lead to like long term results. सो ग्रोथ इज नेवर शॉर्ट टर्म. डोंट थिंक कि ये एग्जाम पास करना है. थिंक कि मेरे को क्या रोज सीखते जाना है कि मैं 10 साल में like I end up becoming a very smart person. And not that you'll get more money if you're a smart person, you might, but that's not the goal. It's about mental improvement and really enjoying your life, enjoying learning. That's all. Too much gyan I'm giving. I don't know what. Like I look like some laughing Buddha. Also, I don't know, on a diet.
No, sir,
So
it's
that is
really helpful.
yes, so that is some great advice for all the students at CBS right now, juggling with
Yeah.
their studies and co-curriculars. So yeah, that was really helpful.
And
So
added
even
with
when I
the
was blogging, I blogged for 6 years, and one of my friends again back in CBS said कि तुम्हारा 6 महीने में ये जोश निकल जाएगा. So I took it to heart and I was like, how dare she say that? So I had decided every month at least 2 posts I'll put out. So for 6 continuous years, I would ensure minimum 2 posts throughout. So it was, if it was the 31st and I have not had the time, and I know it's a crazy day at work where I'll be busy at work from 10 in the morning to maybe midnight, but it's the 31st. I remember days when I woke up at 5 in the morning with no idea, but I was like, I will wake up at 5 and I will 1 hour just write anything and push it out, because if I don't write it, if I don't stick to my own commitment, no one will say anything, but I will just hate myself that I could not build that discipline. So that's all.
and that's the biggest motivation, sir, that you have to have that inner strength in you. Yeah, and next question comes out from that inner strength. You prepared for all these examinations without the help of any coaching institute. So, what would you like to suggest to students who are preparing right now? What materials or what sources should they prefer while their preparation?
Yeah, so see, it'll be a little difficult for me to pinpoint exactly what material, because in the past 10 years, books have changed, structures have changed. So I don't know what best resources are available right now. However, I could maybe suggest what I followed in BFI. So in the second year of my college, I got horrible marks. Like I was just way too involved with a verve and a bunch of other things that I scored really poorly on my exams. And then it hit me very hard where I realized, no, I have to be one of the smartest people in class. In a batch of 40, I think I was probably ranked 25 in the second year. And it really hurt me. So I think in the third year, I knew I could not beat other people in my class at intelligence. These people were way smarter than I was. But what I made a point to do was, I was like, kya subject hai? 4 subject hai na? Every week I would pick up 3 or 4 books from the library of a subject, take them back home, whatever I could, say 2 at a time or whatever your library pass allows, and I would make notes in a register, because मेरे से ना पढ़ाई रोज दिन होती नहीं थी. But लिखने में क्या है, when you read and you write, it doesn't take as much mental effort. It's almost like you're just summarizing it. You're not learning it, you're summarizing it. So I summarized and made notes. And there were other people in my class, I won't name them because they're very good friends of mine, but they would never give their notes. Rank 1, rank 2. These girls would be like, Amni de rahe, sorry, mummy doesn't allow me to give my register, this, that, and what all crap. I was like, I am going to democratize notes. My notes were photocopied and given to the entire class of BFI and BBS. Everyone read it because I didn't care if others also get marks. And still, surprisingly, I realized that year I was ranked 2 or 3 and I could pull up my entire percentage. So, someone may give you notes, but whatever Purana effort you've put in, that accumulates to so much more that you will not even realize. You can spoon feed someone, you can give them something, but the whole experience of learning it and cooking it and then having may give you so much more perspective than just being spoon fed may not. So I think preparation is all about, and which is why I was never scared of कि मेरे को कोई tutor बताएगा तो मैं वो ही पढ़ूंगा. I was like, fine, let me look at all books. Let me take out the time to explore everything and see where I understand from the best. And a lot of these foreign authors, I wouldn't understand jack shit from. So I would search those concepts on Google. I would look up YouTube videos and make my notes from there. And I followed the same strategy for all my other exams also. That whatever I don't understand, I just want to understand. So be it from Google, be it from a book, be it from a friend, be it from a video. That's it. I think my deal was ये मेरे को नहीं आता तो बस मेरे को सीखना है. I can't live with the fact that I don't know this.
That's काफी inspirational, sir.
No यार, ये बाल हमने धूप में नहीं गवाए.
Okay, sir. So the next question would be that do you think the qualifications you have make you stand out in the workplace, and how do they actually help you in the corporate world?
Maybe some people see your qualification helps you get an entry at quite a few places because people may be impressed by your academic credentials, where you might get more opportunities. So I think it definitely opens opportunities. I won't deny that. I've been very blessed in that regard. One policy I follow is I don't bluff about what I know or what I don't know. So if someone says that we need help on this assignment, I've noticed a lot of other professionals to say हाँ ऐसे होता है, हवा में ऐसे होता है, because they feel कि नहीं, अगर हम admit कर लेंगे हमें नहीं आता तो बहुत झंड हो जाएगी, बेइज्जती हो जाएगी. How can a CA not know? So I think my first view is always listen. Top of my head view is this basis my experience. This is something I probably don't have too much experience on. Give me 2 days time. I will look it up and I will get back to you. So even if I don't get paid for that assignment, for example, or say if I've not asked for that assignment to answer that professional query for someone, I find great interest in finding out, okay, this is something I don't know. So only because I have to know it, I will find out that answer. So I feel there is absolutely no shame in admitting that you don't know, because you get more credibility when you admit you don't know, and within 2 days you can learn it and get back to someone. That speaks much more about your learning ability, about your credibility as a professional, as a work person, and how fast a learner you are, than just bluffing your way thinking the other person won't know and this is what I think it is. So never be ashamed of what you don't know, as long as you can learn it and get back to the other person in 2-3 days saying this is what I've learned, this is my experience, what do you think? I think that helps more than anything else. You can't lie to yourself.
Yes, totally agree.
And so the next question is very much relatable to our batch, the online batch. I read your article about your life at ISB and how you were stressed about when everyone was going for their interviews and placements, and you were questioning your self-worth in that. So currently in CBS, when there is no interaction between the students, there's no social life because of this pandemic. There is, but it is not much. So this imposter syndrome is prevalent among most of the college students, especially the first years who are naive enough to not know most of the things. And they've been ranting about it on unofficial college pages and just expressing their thoughts there. So, what would you like to convey to the youngest batch? How should they handle the stress? Because you were in a position, you were having a lot of experience, you were having good degrees, but people who are merely 18, 19, they are also suffering the same problem.
Okay, so see, it would not be right for me to speak about how to deal with mental stresses or mental health because I'm not trained in that domain. So don't quote me on something where I may say, where mental health professionals may say, buddy, this is wrong and you don't know how mental health works, because I don't know how it works. However, purely basis my experience, I felt that when you're gainfully occupied or you have a purpose, so my purpose as of now is to learn about a particular industry. Okay. So I am trying to develop a vertical in my business where I want to learn about that industry. So anytime that I'm free, I am consuming content or trying to find content to learn about it, find articles to learn about it. So I automatically don't have time to think कि मैं enjoy कितना कर रहा हूँ या मैं मेरे कोई दोस्त है या नहीं है. I mean, I am reaching out to people on LinkedIn from that industry saying that, hey, I want to know about this. Can we get on a 30-minute call where these are my questions? Can you answer them for me? If I'm doing that, I am talking to enough people. I am getting information. So I think there could be several reasons for mental health issues. This is not an answer for all of them. But if you think your mental health is affected because of a lack of purpose, that purpose you have to define. And वो जो होता है ना कि मेरी calling क्या है, what I really want to do, one will not figure out even till the time one is 50, or one may figure out at the age of 15 as well. So you can't give up on everything else at hand thinking this is not my calling, maza nahi aa raha. If you're curious, if you want to learn, you'll easily find something to learn more about. Like just a, I love watches. Like I don't know, it has nothing to do with my profession. Just the concept of mechanical watches really interests me. So I read blogs about watches. I listen to podcasts about watches. This is probably one of the very odd things that none of my friends do, but I do it. It's not leading to any professional learning, but it gives me happiness just to know that. So I think you can find a purpose in something, and that should help maybe.
I think it would be helpful for the students.
Okay. And best way to learn is by teaching. So if any of you can start a blog, can start a vlog, can start a channel, can just like share your learnings with everyone on a daily basis, that will just like, there was this one batchmate of mine. He currently just graduated from Wharton. His name is also Sarthak Malhotra. He was the best quizzer of Delhi University and of India at that time. He won national level quizzing competitions, and he used to come with me in the metro. Like we would travel to college together, and I would ask him, how did you end up becoming such a good quizzer? Like, what is the journey? He's like, since the time I was in the 8th or 9th grade back in school, I had an internet connection every day back home. After like doing my work, homework, this, that, everything, I would sit down on Wikipedia and just read Wikipedia every day for 2 hours. And I've done that for 6 years. Every single day, I have read Wikipedia for 2 hours. I was like, how do you start? Like any random topic. For example, Nike. I look up Nike. Then I'll keep jumping links. I'll read that page. On that page, if there's a link which interests me, I'll jump onto that. I'll jump onto another. Every day, he read Wikipedia for 2 hours for 6 years. Can you imagine the amount of knowledge it will give a person? He's such a wonderful person to talk to. I mean, he's just graduated Wharton, which explains it itself.
Yes.
So yeah.
Sure, sir. So, talking about it further, can you please tell our readers about the website Career in Commerce? When did you start it, and what was the motivation behind it? Like,
So I think
impact has it created in your life?
so. I started that website a very very long time back. I think sometime in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And the 2000 no, or possibly after completing my CA. So it could be 2013-14. Yeah, that was the time I started it, and my idea was to share my experience with students. So I realized a lot of students who do CA are from tier 2, tier 3 cities in India, where they may not really know what resource to follow, what is the structure of doing CA exams. A lot of people would ask me questions कि ये सारे courses एक साथ कैसे करें, how to plan your studies, what is the strategy that you adopted. And again, as I mentioned, I always loved to give away. I was like, I haven't collected some secret. I want, if other people can benefit from it, I'd love to give it away. So the website started as a pet project, as a hobby on the side, just to be able to give away that information. Over 3-4 years, I realized that my information was no longer up to date because I wasn't a student anymore. So there may have been more books which would have come to the market. The structure of the course would have changed. At that point, for me to continue giving information which was maybe 3-4 years old would not have been right. So after that, I haven't been very active on Career in Commerce. But now that I feel at this stage, okay, if information related to startups, business, fundraising, that's my profession. I read about it every day. So in the form of those daily videos, I try and put out that information.
All right, sir. That was great to hear about that.
And one question, sir, we typically ask to every alumni, be it an alumni like you having 10 years of experience or someone who just recently graduated, what thing that you think present students should know which you should have known in your time?
Okay, something that I would probably tell myself, tell my CBS self is
Yes,
what you're
sir.
saying.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, I was not as active a reader back then, and I felt my learning. You've heard of the concept of compounding, right? You being from
Yeah.
BFI, you know how
Yeah.
compounding works.
Yes, sir.
So compounding works in every aspect of life. It's not just finance, even in your learning. So the sooner I wish I'd have pushed myself in the habit of sharing 3 best links every week back then. I wish I'd have started making these videos back then, like just learning and giving information, putting structures around how to learn and then put it out and share it with other people. If I were doing it from that time till now, I feel I'd have been like a different personality at a different level, maybe personally as well as professionally. So if you can, if you're not already doing it, please start doing it. I think everyone should be a learner and then a sharer. So like a content creator after that. Um, I used to write humor. So that was my way of sharing my experiences. But over time, I realized I had probably more to share with respect to business and how businesses are done, how finance works in business. So I realized, okay, I'm going to change my niche to something where I can probably add more value. So yeah, that's all. Like start something, learn and then share, and create it and record it. That compounding effect really adds up to a lot.
Sure, sir. The students will love to incorporate this in their lives.
Yes. So last but not the least, what was the contribution of CBS in your journey? Is there like any particular incident that you remember that still remains etched in your heart?
Uh, I think what remains etched in my heart is the learning that the more you give, the more you gain out of it. So, quite honestly, everything that I've gained in my life is by not holding what I know tight. I just giving it all out. So, acquire, learn, and then share. That Robin Hood philosophy, I think that's best. So, say for example, if Robin Hood would, rob the rich and give it to the poor, so think you need to rob it from the knowledge rich, like people who are holding that information, find them, get it out of them. These days, I try to learn out of the VC and investment banking industry. It's a very tight-lipped industry. You can't get enough access to how they function. It's very secretive. I constantly try and find people, pick their brain on it, and then share content on it or let my clients and friends know about how they work. That gives me a supreme sense of satisfaction. So yeah, I think just Robin Hood philosophy, be Robin Hood.
Yeah, that was it, sir. I hope our readers not readers, viewers have enjoyed it a lot.
They'll be
So,
viewing it. People are going to be viewing this thing.
yes, sir. We
I should
might
have dressed up
post it
better,
on
but it's
YouTube.
okay. Okay. What? Okay. अरे heads up देना चाहिए था.
Sure, sir. Your willingness to learn, your determination and dedication, I'm sure the students at CBS can really learn from you a lot.
No, thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad, and quite honestly, I haven't given away as much. So don't portray me as some laughing Buddha on a diet, as I mentioned, who was giving a lot of gyan. I'm probably not worthy of all of that at this stage. But yeah, just my 2 cents on my experience. That's all.
Yeah,
Thank you
sir,
so much,
those two
sir.
cents were very great to have. We are still grateful to have you with us. Our viewers would be blessed to know your thoughts, and we're looking forward to such more associations and having a greater learning curve for our students and the entire community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so happy I was here. Thank you.